Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David, and this is a Magic Marked Deck review. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. It's not Monday. Normally on Monday, I review a deck of cards, but it's Tuesday because yesterday I did a giveaway. That's right, giving away over $140 worth of magic tricks and playing cards. Head back to yesterday. If you haven't checked out that contest yet, you don't want to miss it. And if you're missing stuff like this, it's probably because you haven't subscribed to the channel. When I look at statistics, I see that 50% of you have never subscribed, and it only takes a couple of seconds. Plus, you won't miss out. You won't miss out when we do these giveaways. Oh, and I'm also doing a giveaway over on Instagram as well. Right now, I'm giving away 4 decks of cards over on Instagram, giving you a nice little summer red series, 4 red decks that are some of the hottest decks in cards right now. So you should be heading over there too. Make sure you're following me in both places. Make sure you hit like, subscribe to this video, and go follow me over on Instagram as well. The Crossed Keys playing cards. This is a new release from Peter Turner Ellusionist.com. Oban Jones is the artist. Can I just say, let me just go off a little bit, because Oban Jones is amazing, and this is probably my favorite deck of his now that he has created. Been watching this guy since the beginning, since he signed on with Illusionist, and he's been their pretty much go-to guy for deck designing. This deck rivals, oh my goodness, it's so great. And not only just the bells and whistles, but the art. The art on this tuck case, the art on the cards, it's beautiful. Oban Jones, hey, you're awesome. So the Crossed Keys deck came out a couple, maybe almost a month now ago. It was first released through Illusionist as a mystery deck, right? It was supposed to be on their secret page. And the URL changed, I think, because I went to the place I would normally go to for the secret menu and it was gone, and people were saying they got it, and I didn't want to pull any strings and try to get the deck, so I looked for the secret menu. I couldn't find it, and then I just said, well, I guess I'll get it when everybody else gets it. So when Pete put it out on Instagram that it was finally out and public, of course I quickly rushed out to illusionist.com, paid my 10 bucks. That's how much it costs. If you'd like to get one too, head on down to illusionist.com, $10. Originally it came with Clairvoyance by Peter Turner, which is a trick. I went to Illusionist just this morning just to see if it was still mentioned. It's not mentioned on the page, so I don't know. But originally, when this was released, it came with Clairvoyance, which is a 24-minute video file. It also came with a 2-page PDF that walked you through the marking system. So I want to talk about the video. I want to talk about the cards. I want to talk about the marking system. So let's get into that. The tuck case is all done in this matte Edwardian green and metallic gold inks. It says the Crossed Keys playing cards up at the top, but it also says that at the bottom underneath. You got the Crossed Keys logo there with a gold frame. Both sides of this are really beautiful. I'm gonna try to zoom in as much as I can. One side says, man is not what he thinks he is what he hides. And you have a key there. And the other side says, the true mystery of the world is the visible, not the invisible. The back design is not exactly what the back design of the cards looks like. It's close. That detailing there in the center is pretty much there. You've got a little skull down here in white and some keyholes here. You got the all-seeing eye and the triangles in the 4 corners. And then up at the top, it says 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. I really like this little added feature here of the lock, the keyhole there, because that's where you open the tuck case, right? And then you have the Crossed Keys logos there, and then it says, better a cruel truth than a comfortable delusion. The top says Crossed Keys playing cards, Oban Jones, Peter Turner, and then the inside, look at that. It's all printed, and you're gonna see that same pattern throughout. That's pretty much everything I can say about the tuck case. Let's break it open and look at the cards. Here's that beautiful back design, and you can really see just how much that metallic ink shines and reflects the light. You're gonna have that same pattern that we saw On the back, however, there's a lot more filled in around the edges. You can see that it's almost creating this illusion that it's a solid color. It almost looks like you have 4 circles in each corner and then this solid color of like a gold green. But then upon inspecting it, you see that this kind of this honeycomb pattern with that beautiful cross keys logo there in the center. All right, let's talk a little bit about the marking system. Now, I am kind of showing you the marking system, but not really. This is not a standard card, okay? This is a GAFF card that I'm showing you. So it's actually not marked, but the mark is in the field that I am showing you, and it is a reader back. So when I say cards are marked, people usually ask, well, is it reader backed or is it marked with a marking system? It's not a system, but it's not a true reader back either. A true reader back would be extremely clear, right? You'd see a visible 9 and a visible D for a 9 of diamonds. And with this marked deck, it's a little bit more well hidden. It's a little bit more discreet, and I like that. It does mean that people who have more difficulty seeing small details up close, maybe people who wear glasses or contacts, I would say you might have difficulty reading this. I do a little bit, only because the lines are so thin and because of the shade of the color against the background color. It doesn't pop. So I would say, yes, you should have strong eyes. Also with this deck, you'll get 2 original jokers. It has a green border around each with a gold hand underneath, one outstretched to receive a lock, and the second is getting its finger, its index finger pricked, and there's a little piece of blood jettisoning out and the cross keys logo above it. With this deck, you'll get 2 GAFF cards. You'll get a double backer, which is great for magic tricks, and you'll get a dual split card, which is half 2 of spades, half 4 of diamonds. Your ace of spades is very intricate and absolutely gorgeous. So it's Peter Turner down one side, Oban Jones down the other, the cross keys playing cards. And then you have this massive spade pip in the center that depicts the all-seeing eye, crossed keys, and Masonic compasses. Underneath that, it says the Illusionist Playing Card Company 2021. Going through the deck, you're gonna see that for the most part, it looks like a standard deck of playing cards. Blacks are black, reds are red, layout-wise, things are the same. You're also gonna see court cards that Oban Jones has used before, but they are his original style. The red cards have a black outline around the pips, and you're also going to notice that things are a little bit more centered, a little bit smaller, taking up less space. There's more negative space on these cards. And you're going to see that same Edwardian green and shiny metallic golds coloring each court card. All right, so the trick, clairvoyance. What about that? Because if you're like me, Peter Turner put something out, you want to know all about it, right? Like I said, though, it's only a 24-minute video file. So you're really only learning the single trick. And the trick is taught also as a way for you to be comfortable with the marked deck, and so that you could learn some of the markings. Now, I'm not going to show the cards up close where you'll see the markings in the video, but that's why you have the 2-page PDF that accompanies it. And really, once you read the PDF, and start going through the cards, and you'll get it. The way I usually do it, just if you want my advice, is I shuffle all the cards together as best I can, and then I just go through the cards from behind, and I pull a card out, read it, flip it, just to make sure I did it right. Sometimes, if I'm having trouble with the deck, I'll separate the cards that I know from the cards that I don't, and I'll make a pile of cards that were more difficult for me to read, kind of like the same way you do with flashcards, and then maybe look for some consistencies, like am I always getting my 9s wrong, or my kings? Those are some of the numbers or marks on the back that might need a little bit more help with, and so then I focus some extra time on those, reshuffle the deck, and then do it again. But clairvoyance, how does it go? Clairvoyance is shot the same way Pete's been doing a couple of his past videos and some of his lives. It's all done in a living room setting with a mounted camera. You don't get any extra shots. He invites a friend of his named Wills in, who is a croupier, which would be a person who's in charge of many gaming tables in a casino, has her there as her, like, person that's going to make sure that he's on the up and up, right? That he's doing everything fair. And he has her shuffle the cards until she is satisfied, completely satisfied, and then he directs her attention to a little black envelope that he has on the table. He then has her count down to any amount of cards until she is happy. Once she's counted down those cards, he asks her to just lift the stack up and without reversing their order, just count the cards and just see how many she dealt. And, it was some random number in the teens. He then picks up the little black envelope, pulls out a piece of paper, unfolds it, and then shows her the writing on it. And it says that you will shuffle the deck and you will deal down that many cards, the same amount of cards that she dealt. And the card you stop at will be let's say the ace of diamonds, right? She then looks at the card she stopped at, she flips it over, and it's the ace of diamonds, and it's just that awesome. So a couple questions we always ask when we do magic reviews, and the first of which is, what's in the box? Well, it's a deck of cards, right? It's a deck of cards. You're not adding anything. You're not taking anything away. It's simply a deck. And like I said, maybe, hopefully, if you buy it today, you'll get those same 2 downloads. Is it what I thought? Well, yes, it's what I thought, because it's a marked deck, and Illusionist doesn't hide that fact, right? They tell you right up front that this is a marked deck. And really, this is, I think, at least the second time Pete's released a marked deck. I know Resurrected was before this. And if you haven't reached out and got that deck's a lot of awesome too. So that one's a great deck. All right, so how are the angles? I covered this a little bit when we were looking at markings, and that's really your angles. And Pete's going to address markings later in the video. We'll talk about that. But I think this is definitely a deck that you could hand out to a spectator and they could not find the marks. Now, I wouldn't normally say that about reader backs. There's a lot of reader backs out there, especially reader backs I love and use. But I love them so much because the marks are clear. And I can use them because I do have wonky eyesight, and I kind of need those. But I handed this deck out to a person that is very familiar with marked decks this week, and I told them up front that it was a marked deck to have them find it, and they could not find the markings, even though it is a reader back deck. All right, so what's the overall quality and production value of the video? Like I said, Peter's talking to his friend Ills, and they're in a living room setting. You got that single static shot. As far as what's taught, it's 24 minutes. So really, you're going to get the performance and the explanation. He's going to do everything for her, and there's no cuts. It's all one long static shot, and then he's going to teach the trick to her at the end, as well as the marking system. And yes, you do need a marked deck to do this trick with. In that, he's going to also go over his advice on when to peek a marked card. And this might be the best part of the entire video. You might not do this trick. I'll be honest with you. You might not do this trick. But you really want to pay attention to this portion of the video where Pete's going to give his advice on when you peek so that you don't telegraph the fact that you have a marked deck. Sometimes people see a deck that they're not familiar with. They might just assume this is some sort of magic deck. So you got to take all the heat off a custom deck. And so Pete's going to tell you exactly when you should get your peek. Is the deck well made? This is a Cartamundi E7 stock. This is the preferred stock that Illusionist has been going with. If you've been picking up some of these Illusionist decks in the past, you know that this is a great stock. Cartamundi makes awesome cards. All right, so how much setup and reset does this trick take? There's no setup at all, except for the fact that you have your envelope with your prediction inside. And you can use that prediction for multiple tricks. So you don't need to change it from one trick to the next, okay? You're gonna take this with you if you're table hopping. But as far as the deck goes, there's no prep at all because the spectator shuffles it to their heart's content at the beginning, and you're not gonna add any cards or take any cards away. So they can keep the deck in their hands the entire time. Positives. All right, so what are the positives? Franklin P. Jones said, bravery is being the only one who knows you're afraid. If you know Pete Turner's work, you know that he is a brave performer and he takes risks. And the thing with taking risks is if you take those risks, if you're willing to, the reward will be higher. The payout will be greater. The experience that the spectator has will be more intense. And a lot of us, we watch Pete perform and we say, man, I really want to get hits like that. I really want to get reactions like that. I really want to cause an emotional state in my spectator like that. And we say, how? It's because Pete's not afraid to step out into the unknown sometimes and to take big risks. So the positives with clairvoyance is the hit and the payout is so much greater, right? Beyond a self-working trick or a trick that takes very little skill, this is a beautiful piece of mentalism that you can do with playing cards. A lot of times, mentalists kind of shy away from playing cards because it just, it groups them into that category of, I'm a guy that does card tricks. But to do something like this, that really has no explanation, right? It really comes across as knowing the future. It really comes across as somebody who has clairvoyance. Now I'm just going to subtly ease into the negatives, okay? Just subtly ease into. There is risks, and you do have to be brave. And Pete's upfront with that. He's totally upfront with that, and he says that. He says, look, I'm a guy who takes risks, so to pull this off, you kind of have to too. This is not self-working, and this might not go the way you want it to go. Now, I'm sure there's a perfect scenario out there, and that's great, but this is going to take some audience influence. I don't want to give anything away, but it's going to take audience influence and being able to think quickly on your feet and to also push your reality. Is it worth your money? It's only 10 bucks. So I'm going to say totally. Even if you don't get the video, even if by the time you see this video, Ellusionist isn't giving the video out anymore, I would still say it's worth it. 10 bucks for a beautifully marked deck. It's awesome. Who would like this? Again, I'm going to say mentalists, fans of Peter Turner, fans of Ellusionist, fans of Oban Jones would definitely like this. But don't just take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. I'm never going to stand here and say, this is your one-stop channel for the greatest magic reviews, or this is your best channel for, or for playing card reviews. I'm never going to brag on myself or tell you that this is the best channel ever. It's not. It's not. There are other great channels out there. You should watch them too. There are great men and women who are doing reviews, doing magic out there on YouTube. You should be watching everybody. Get a well-rounded opinion. There's already 2 other deck reviews out there. Go watch those. Gavin Wong Magic did a review for this, and Chameleon Card Club. Make sure you check out both those reviews as well. All right, that's everything I can say about the Crossed Keys deck from Peter Turner Ellusionist.com and Oban Jones. If you'd like to purchase yours, go where I purchased mine, Ellusionist.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, would you like to learn a magic trick? You would? Did you know I have a second channel? That's right. I have a second channel where I teach beginning level magic tricks. Magic Channel Card Tricks is a place that you can go to learn tricks with ordinary items you can find around the house. Paper clips, rubber bands, pens, and of course, decks of cards. I teach beginning level card tricks, simple card tricks, simple card forces that anybody could learn. I also review magic kits. So if you go buy a magic kit from the store, your local Walmart or Target, or you get a magic kit for Christmas, I'll go over exactly what's inside. And I'll even teach you how to perform with some of those tricks that you get inside those kits. Plus, I'm even gonna give you video instruction to very simple, very inexpensive tricks that you can pick up at your favorite magic store. Sometimes you get those tricks and the instructions are just on a tiny little piece of typewritten paper and you have no idea how to do that trick. Don't throw that trick away. Don't put it in a box. Come back to Magic Channel Card Tricks and I will teach you how to use that trick as well. Or maybe you're not a beginner. Maybe you're not a beginner, but maybe you have a niece or a nephew or a little brother or sister that you could share this channel with them. This is a great, safe place, kid-friendly, where they can learn beginning level magic. Make sure you head on over to Magic Channel Card Tricks, give my videos a like, subscribe to that channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of Magic Orthodoxy.